In this lesson, I'm going to teach you about the different drawing modes of Flash. Now, we've been drawing in merge mode, but the three modes are merge mode, object mode, and primitive mode. And Flash defaults to merge mode. So I'm going to show you the differences. Let's create a new Flash file, ActionScript 3.0, what we've been choosing all this time. Let's pull up all our tools, F4. And obviously we know that these are some of our drawing tools over here. So if we were to choose the rectangle tool, for instance, like I said, it defaults to merge mode. So let's draw a rectangle. Right now if we draw one, it'll fill in with this color, that's fine, no outline. That's what the strike through means. So let's just draw a rectangle. Alright, there we go. Now, what happens if I draw another rectangle that touches this one or overlaps it? Let's say even the same color, like so. Because you could start to draw an object simply by little baby rectangles. You could create a whole little design via rectangles. Well, if we go up to the selection tool and try to select our individual rectangles, we can't do it because we use the same color, and now Flash has assumed that we've painted or created one object. So now we have to move that object as a whole. Now, let's say we're drawing in a different color. Let's go back to our rectangle tool, and let's say we're drawing in blue. And well, let's overlap again. So we'll overlap this other object we created, like so. Now, Flash, even though it's in merge mode still, it knows it's not the same object, but here's how merge mode works. Now when I move the blue square with the selection tool, notice what happens. See how it ate a piece out of there? So even though it was a different color, and Flash knew that, it still was acting in a merge, basically in merge mode. So when you remove that object from the whole, that piece will disappear from the whole. So in fact, you can still move it around over top, but any new object you create over top is going to eat away once you move it, like we did here. So if I was to create a new rectangle, like so, and then try to pull it around somewhere else, it eats it away. But if I continue to move it around, overlap and move, then it's not going to eat away at the other object. Now, we are talking about on the same layer, because if I was to insert another layer here, and I was to start to draw on it, let's say the oval tool, and I overlap, grab the selection tool and move it, it's not going to eat away because we're not on the same layer. So this concept only works, or the rules only apply when you're on the same layer. So that's merge mode. All right. Object drawing mode. Well, how would you switch to that? Well, let's create a new layer here. And I'm going to hide these other layers with the eye, like so. Now, in order to draw in object drawing mode, it still is going to view the objects as separate shapes no matter what. So it's not going to eat away at an object like I just showed you if you move it around. But how do you switch to that mode? Because all we saw here was rectangle, oval tool, and then the primitive one, which we haven't gotten into. How do you go to object drawing mode? Well, down here, once you have a drawing tool selected, down here, boy, sorry for the slurring. Down here, right beside this magnetic tool, you see it says Object Drawing Tool. That's how you would change to Object Drawing mode. Now let's draw a few shapes and we'll see what happens. grab it. Oh, let me. And I just want to change color to blue. And I'll draw another one right over top, like so. But now, if I move it around, you see it doesn't eat away. So it views these as separate objects, even if they overlap. So that's object drawing mode. Now, what if you wanted to merge these two into one object? Well, you first select it, hold down Shift, select the other object, and then we go up to Modify, Combine Objects, Union. Aha! Now you notice it put the square around all of them. So now we've converted that to a single object. All right. So now we can move it around as if it's one. Now, what if we want to do the reverse? What if we want to convert two objects to a shape like we were before in merge mode? Well, in this case, what we're going to do is select it and press Control B. Aha! See what it did? It split them up. Now if I grab one and move it away, we're backed into merge mode. And you see how it ate a piece like that. So Control B to unmerge, or up to Modify, Combine Objects, make sure you have both selected, and then Union. And you'd want to make sure you had both selected if you were going to Control B and unmerge them, so to speak. Well, actually bring them into merge mode. All these phrasings can be confusing. All right, now we get to our third area, and that is primitive drawing mode. All right, now primitive drawing mode is very similar to object drawing mode, but notice the difference. Let's delete these layers and start with a new one. All right. Deleted that one. All right. Now let's go to our oval tool, but let's select rectangle primitive tool. All right. So I'm going to draw a rectangle. Like normal, everything seems normal, right? How could this be any different? Well, here's what's cool about it. You see these anchor points at the ends here? Well, if we grab our selection tool, grab that corner, and move in, look what happens. So we have control over the curvature of our corners, like so. And if we wanted to move it back, we would grab this anchor point, move it back out like so. So let's create another one, a different color, just for fun. And now you notice that whatever we ended in, the new object I create now has that exact same curvature on the corners. So if I were to readjust, grab the selection tool. Oops, I think I accidentally created another square there. Alright. Now as to grab the selection tool, I can bring it back out to a full square, like so. So now any new shape I draw will have that corner associated with it. Now what do you think is going to happen when I grab and move away? See, it acts just like object mode. So it views them as separate objects. Now notice what you can do with a sphere or an oval, the oval tool, but we're going to choose the oval primitive tool. Notice. Now, just grab a different color just for fun. Like so. And now you see these anchor points here? Watch. I'm going to move it down here. Now notice what happens when I grab this anchor point and move it. Wow, we've got a Pac-Man going on there. So this is the difference. This is new to this version of Flash. You can make this sort of adjustment with the primitive tool that you can't with the merge or object drawing modes. Oops. What I really wanted to do there was leave it yellow, but go to our brush tool. You know what I'm thinking, right? Just wanted an eye for our Pac-Man. Alright, so those are the differences between the merge drawing tools, or modes actually, object drawing mode and primitive drawing mode, which we just did. And another thing just to note with our merge drawing mode, which is defaulted, obviously you can mix and match on the same layer. You could do one object in merge mode, one in object mode, one in primitive mode. But notice when we're in regular merge mode, I want to show you one other thing that you can do. Let's say you create an object like so, right? And we go to our selection tool. You can grab an edge and pull it and actually modify our object from its original shape, like so. So grab an edge and pull, like that. And with a circle, a similar thing you can do. Let's go to the oval tool, and I'm going to create a baby oval, but I'm going to grab the edge of it. Whoops. Got to go to our selection tool for this to work. And grab the edge of that object, and look, you can just stretch it out. Same with up here. Now it looks like a boomerang, doesn't it? If I move this one out of the way that I created. So you can stretch and manipulate objects you created by simply dragging the sides in whatever direction you want. So it allows you a lot of versatility. So enjoy your animation using all modes.